Welcome back. I'm Jacob, one of the co-founders of Check, and I'm going to walk you through an overview of jobs. Starting off in the Jobs tab, you'll notice my schedule here, giving us a great overview of my jobs due each day, grouped by crew. It's important to note that I can see all of my crews and the jobs assigned to them because I'm the owner of my business. If I was working for someone else, I'd only be able to see the jobs assigned to the crew that I was a part of, and I wouldn't be able to see things like the prices beneath each job either. That's for owners and admins only. There's a lot to cover on the schedule, so before we dive into that, I want to walk you through adding a job first. Now, anytime you're adding something in Check, it starts by tapping that blue plus button. We'll select job, and then we'll select or add a new client that we want to create the job for. Starting from the top, we'll choose which crew we want to assign the job to. If we don't want to assign it yet, we can just leave it set to not assigned. But we'll go ahead and assign it to mowing crew number 1 since they only have 3 jobs right now. Beneath that are the client and property, which you can quickly change if you selected the wrong one, but if everything looks right, you can keep on moving. Next is the price. You can add a flat price by tapping on it and entering the amount, or if you'd like to split it up, you can add line items by toggling on line items and tapping that blue add button. We'll select lawn care. And once again, we have the option to add a flat price by tapping on price or by toggling on sub items if we want to split it up further into specific services like mowing, trimming, and blowing. But we just want to add a flat price of $50 for now. And then we'll add another line item for edge setting and give that a price of $20. Now you'll notice that our price field is now showing the sum of the line items, $70. So whether you're entering a flat price or adding line items, it really depends on how your client wants it to show up on the invoice. Now beneath the line items, we have sales tax, and that's going to default to the tax rates that you have defined in your settings, but you can always tap the X to remove one, or you can tap that blue add button to add a new one, or you could just toggle them off completely. It's customizable per job, so you're always in full control of the taxes you charge. Now, let's set our start date and how often we want it to repeat. The repeat frequency will default to the frequency that you've defined in your job settings, but you can override that here or toggle it off completely if you want it to be a one-time job. We'll go ahead and leave ours set to repeat every week. And then finally, we can add any notes to this job, such as specific instructions from the client. These are internal notes that only you and your team can see, not the client. Okay, everything looks good, so we'll go ahead and tap that blue check mark, and the job will be added to our schedule starting today and repeating each week. Back on our schedule, you can see our job for Jim Halpert there showing up under mowing crew 1. Now, if you have a lot of jobs, you'll always be able to see the date that you're on because it sticks to the top of the screen as you scroll. And of course, you can tap on a crew to quickly collapse or expand it, just to save on space. If you're scrolling and you want to jump back to today, just tap on that blue calendar icon in the top right corner and you'll be able to find your place again. To the side of each date and crew name, you'll notice a set of numbers. For example, on April 26th, it says 0/8. That's the number of jobs that are completed out of your total number of jobs due that day. So right now, I have 0 jobs completed, but 8 due. If I tap and hold on any job, it'll open a quick menu giving me access to several options like complete, reschedule, cancel, delete, and reassign. Completing a job like that will increase the completed job count by 1. So you can see that I've completed 1 of 8 jobs now. And rescheduling a job allows me to shift either just that job or the entire recurring job. To use our demo job for Jim, let's say that it's recurring every Wednesday, and he wants us to come on Thursday instead. We can tap on tomorrow, hit confirm, and then we can select this and all future jobs to shift the entire recurring job to Thursdays from here on out. If we get rained out and we just wanted to move this one job only, we can do that by selecting the date we wanted to reschedule to, tapping confirm, and selecting this job. Canceling the job leaves the job on your schedule for the record-keeping purposes, but it shows that it got canceled while deleting a job removes it from your schedule completely. If you delete a job, you'll have the option to delete just that one or the entire job, similar to rescheduling. And finally, reassigning a job allows you to assign it to a different crew. Similar to rescheduling and deleting, you'll have the option to reassign just that one job if a crew member is out sick, or you can reassign the entire recurring job if you're switching up your crew's routes or something like that. Speaking of routes, you can tap on the route button to the right of each crew to generate a daily route for that crew. It's important to note that only jobs for properties with addresses will show up on the route, which is why, even though addresses are optional, it's still really important to include one for each property that you add. If you tap on a job, you'll be able to see the job's details. Notice up at the top, we've got a date and address along with the options to get directions. And in the top right corner, you'll notice the crew icon, which we can tap on to assign the job. And beneath the address are two tabs, details and notes. Notes is going to show you any notes that you've added to the job when you were creating it. And swiping back to our details, we can use the blue start timer button at the top to track our time on a job. If you have to run a quick errand or pick up some more trimmer line or something, you can pause the timer by tapping stop timer and then restart it again when you're back on the job. That will create multiple time segments, which you can then easily edit by tapping on the timestamps or just deleting it entirely. Beneath your timer is the status of the job, the date, which you can tap on to reschedule the job, the price, line items, and sales tax, all of which you can edit just like when you're adding a job, and then client details such as contact info, address, job frequency, and client invoice frequency. Finally, you can either cancel or delete jobs from the bottom of the Details tab, or tap the big green Complete button to mark that job as complete. That's been an overview of the Jobs tab, and I hope that it's been helpful for you. We'll see you in the next one.